Happy Friday. I don't get sick of saying it. I don't care if you get sick of hearing it. Happy Friday, Troy.
Happy Friday to you too, Bill.
Hey, yesterday you left us in a really cool spot. You told us about how when we're in an unmotivated place, one of the things we can do and should do, just give God a chance. Just show up. And if we show up, pretty sure he'll show up.
Yeah.
But you said there was something else. I'm anxious to hear what this other else thing is.
So here's the other else. So often, Bill, we just simply do whatever we feel. So if I feel in a bad spot, I just decide, well, I'm just going to do stuff that you do in a bad spot.
Right.
Or if I feel unmotivated, I'm going to do the stuff I would normally do when I'm unmotivated.
Old habits, yeah.
Yes, because it's easy, it's simple. And then there's also a payoff, because some of those old habits come with, dopamine hits and adrenaline and familiar, safe.
The flavor of
feelings,
strawberry
yes.
ice cream.
So the reality is this: not only should I give God a chance, but I need to count the costs. And here's what I mean by that. Yes, I can get relief. And I know how to get relief. And I can even get relief in a less sinful way. For example, if I were to think through this and think, which is more sinful or less sinful? And you might say sin is sin. Well, yes, that's true. But consequences are not consequences.
Right.
So I could look at pornography and masturbate, and that would have one set of consequences. I could go to Cheeseburger Bobby's and have a double with extra cheese and fries. Now, both of them are acting out. Both of them are sinful. But one has more immediate consequences and more spiritual consequences. The other has more longer term, more physical body consequences.
Right.
So I've got to consider this whole situation, and I do have to count the cost of what I'm going to do. Now, by that, I don't mean, figure out what has less consequences and do that.
Right.
But I do mean think through the consequences of what you're going to do.
Right.
And again, I talked about taking a nap yesterday. You know what? Someone told me this once. A very godly man in seminary who I respected, who was really a guru with discipleship. And he said to me this. He said, Troy, what's the most spiritual thing you can do when you're tired? And I thought, and I'm like, I don't know. This sounds like a trick question to me. And he said, Troy, the most spiritual thing you can do when you're tired is go to sleep. And I thought, wow, that's profound. Because you know what? There's nothing sinful about sleeping. So I say that to say, I've got to look at what my options are, and I've got to count the cost. And I've got to realize if I go to Cheeseburger Bobby's, yes, I can just taste it now. This is what you call euphoric recall.
I got you.
I can taste it now.
I kind of can too.
Mayonnaise, pickles, extra cheese, fries, just like I like it.
Oh, be healed.
Oh, Lord help us. But there's going to be consequences to that, and I need to think that through. I need to think through the weight gain. I need to think through the clogged arteries. I need to think through the crash that will happen predictably 30 minutes later when all of those carbs and all that fat hits my system. And now I won't have a choice but to take a nap because I'll be in a freaking coma almost. I've got to count those costs. Likewise, if I'm going to go look at pornography, I've got to count those costs. But here's what we do, Bill. Oftentimes when we are looking for relief and we are feeling all these negative emotions, I ignore the costs. I just put them out of my mind. Yes, I know this is a cost, but I'm going to ignore it. And what I'm trying to encourage you guys to do is this. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay not to be motivated. You should not, cannot, will not be on top of the world every single day of your life in recovery. But when things are rough, I at least want you to take a moment to give God a chance and to also count the cost rather than ignore the cost of what your options are. Because you do have options. And you have options that don't cost you and that are not sinful if you'll just look and take that moment.
Man, that's a good word. And Lord knows we hope this is helping you guys. We really do. We'd love to hear from you. Are there questions on your mind that you'd like to hear it almost sounds weird to say, but hear our thoughts about, or hear Troy's thoughts about, send those questions to us. Send them to me. Put them in the comments below, and we'll deal with it in a future episode of this. But we love you. We thank God for you every day, and we're here for you. So we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
See you guys next week.